and leave the third one as it is. So the practice, which is we're gonna do today with practicing on mixing them, will be the desert picture. So I want to show you this picture, which is have basically just two colors. It's blue and orange, and this is gonna be the colors which is we're gonna work on today, because as I said, from the main colors blue, yellow and red, we can mix a lot of different colors, but today we're gonna leave blue as it is and try to make as much different of shades or vivid colors or in lighter colors from the red and yellow together, which is gonna make orange. And I think that's the suitable topic for practicing on it will be the desert landscape, because that's contain that beautiful colors of blue and yellow orangey. So we always start with pencil or Crayola chalk, which is help us just to make a few sketch lines for our painting. And I think that for me will be equally important to divide it on almost two parts, because we're gonna have to we're gonna work on sky and desert sand equally. So that's why I'm gonna divide my picture on two equal parts, which is gonna be sky and sandbar. So my sketch will be very simple. So it's gonna be just a horizon line. And then, as we spoke last time, I will remind you that what we have to have for our lesson is the plate or a piece of paper for palette, which is a professional artists use as a mixing field. We're gonna have few brushes, which is the big one and small one, and something in the middle, which is like medium size. And we're gonna have another one, the little one for details, and that's gonna be this size. So we're gonna start with the bigger brush, because we need a lot of preparation for our sky, which is gonna be blue. But we're not gonna make it just a blue, simple blue. We're gonna work on different shades of blue. So, and we will start with the most vivid blue, which is like, if you remember from last time, if you watched my other video, so we were working on the sky in my previous work, and I was mentioning that the sky above your head always darker compared with the horizon line. And then when we work on our sunset before, we were keeping that in our mind. Same thing we're gonna do now. So we're gonna start with the darker sky, which is gonna be above of our heads and will be by the side of the top side of the picture. For that, I will use the blue and white in more intense proportion, vivid proportion, where we're gonna have a lot of blue in that mix. And I will turn my camera on my picture so that you can see what I'm doing. So you will see less of me, but more of what I'm doing on my picture. And I will use the horizontal strokes for my sky. So the first top part of the sky will be very vivid, very intense blue. Because I think if you imagine the desert, which is, I haven't been in a desert before, but I saw pictures, which is I encourage you to do. Maybe before you start, just look at few pictures of the desert, and I have just one example of this one, just to let you know how intense colors are in a desert, because it's really far south, and also it's all about contrast. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. The reason why I mentioned contrast, because these two colors will be really complementary to each other, because they consist from the main color, which is blue, and his complementary friend made from another two main colors, which is red and red and yellow, sorry, and we're gonna make some orange from it. I'm gonna get like highlights of blue on the top of my mix, because if you remember from last time, I was mentioning that acrylic colors, which is I use, they dry, and when they dry they become lighter, so you have to keep it in your mind, so then when you paint you keep that colors which is you have for your composition, for your idea, vivid as you want. So then you need another layer, so we're kind of layering up our sky, making that really intense with my big brush and very fast strokes of blue color. And then when we're gonna come closer to the horizon line, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue color in it, so which is I will mix white and blue together and get the lighter shade of blue. So all this lighter blue will go as close to the horizon line. And you can see the difference between intensity of the color. We start with a very dark blue, and we aiding by the blue, dark blue, white color, we're getting this more lighter and translucent, which is translucency. It's like we spoke last time about this, create the sky, because sky consists from lots of air, and air it's basically translucent. So but because of so much of it between us and horizon, it's created a beautiful blue shade. Or if we have clouds, it's going to be a totally different story, but that's going to be later. We're going to talk about this later, because make clouds and gray color, it's a totally different story. We have to learn how to do it later. So my blue color getting lighter as it dries, so I will highlight this with more blue, darker blue. I tried to get it as dark as I could, because it still will be lighter when it's dry, but we need to get pretty intense blue to create that beautiful desert sky, which is full of intensity of blue. And as I said last time, we don't try to not to leave the white spots on our painting, because white spots, if they are not necessary by our idea, they just looks like unfinished picture, and we try to avoid that because we want to be professional artists, right? So my lighter shades coming up to the horizon, and we almost finished with our sky. Just for now, at least, because we want just to get the nice layers of this beautiful blue color on the sky. And when we come closer to the horizon, I always encourage you to clean your brush when you get your brush into the white container or white color container, because white color has tendency to absorb all colors. When you have some on a brush, believe me, they all will be in the white, and you will see how white changes color with any adding on the other ones. Very easy to get it spoiled with the different shades. We need to keep it clean. So we finish our sky just like that for now, because we always can come back. It's finished when we finished. We never will say halfway that we finished. So we will work now on our sand, and we need probably the better idea just to get the different brush so that we don't mix this with lots of blue, because yellow not gonna like blue, because if you add in yellow blue, it's gonna become green very fast. So be careful. So we will start for the sand with yellow, because it's lighter and it's dangerous as it put the brush with the different color in white is pretty much same danger you get with the yellow color, because it's very light and we can easily spoil them with the different colors. So as soon as we get a lot of yellow color, we wash our brush and get some red in it. I'll show you on my part what I'm doing so that you get some idea about that. See, the red color is really intense and yellow less intense. So to get the orange, we probably need more yellow in it. Let's see if it's enough for now. We have like some bright orange for now. We can use it. So I will start from the skirts of our work, just like on the bottom, just to get it dry. And we can work with the different type of strokes, so just to create some sandy impression. So we can just, as we work on the sky last time, we will create some little hills with the sand, with our color. And when we don't have more color on plate, we can add more yellow and create more color on our plate, which is gonna be lighter, a lighter orange. And we can make another layer of our sand dunes of the desert. So I will just make above my bright orange another layer with the lighter orange, which is I just mix with yellow and red. So it's all about how much you put each color in your mix. That create the different shade of particular color you want. So same thing with the blue sky. As more we get the white, as lighter our sky become. Same thing with our orange. We get less red, we get lighter orange. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add some yellow in our orange and just experiment with that, trying to get a little bit lighter shade of orange for the next layer of our sand dunes. Because if you look on my example picture, you will see that closer to the horizon, sand become lighter. So that's what we're trying to master. Same kind of effect. So we just get the orange color lighter, just to create the same shade as we have on the picture. But it's also in the nature, it's gonna look the same way, because the all objects go farther, they become lighter, because you look at them through the tons of air on your way between them and you. So I got a little bit lighter orange for my farther sand dune. So as you can see on my picture, as farther we go toward to the horizon, the lighter our sand become. Now that's gonna be one more trick we're gonna use. Now we will light up a little bit our orange with white. So I will get on my palette white color. Hard to see it because it's white, so I will just start mixing it, and then you will see how it's gonna become very light orange, very light. And I'm gonna use that shade for my horizon line, just to add the highlights on my sand dunes, goes toward to horizon. And that's how it's going to be very light. We're not gonna do the horizon line straight, because that's not a freeway, it's actually life kind of substance, because sand, it's become sometimes very windy in a desert, and sand has tendency to move around. So then we're trying to show that on our picture, that it's not that straight. So it's not like ocean line on our other picture when we were working yesterday on it. It's not straight, so that's what we're trying to do. We're not making our line straight, we kind of make it wavy. I'm gonna leave the horizon part, but I want to add a little bit more intensity in sand on the front of us, which is I'm gonna try to make the brown color. Remember we did sand yesterday with our brown shade, kind of brown purplish. So what I'm gonna use black, a little bit of black and red. We'll make some burgundy color, that mix, and that burgundy color we're gonna mix with our bright orange. Just like that. And then when we mixed it together, it's kind of become a little bit brownish, which is I'm gonna use for bottom, like the very front of our picture. I'm gonna have that brownish orange color for the contrast. And again, don't try to make the strokes are straight, because we're trying to create that movement like we did clouds before. We try to create the movement. So sand, it's something which is move a lot, so that's why our strokes are kind of going in a different direction, just to try to repeat that unique way how our dunes are laid out. Then I will add a little bit of my lighter orange just for the next layer, because if you see on my picture, the intensity of the colors of two dunes of sand like little hills of sand. It's in contrast of more vivid color in the front and lighter on the back. So I will create that layer by adding some darker orange in the borders between the dunes of the sand on our picture. Just like that. And then we're gonna add a little bit yellow in our brownish orange and do the highlights of next dune, which was farther away. Let it dry for now, and we'll see if we need to work on this more or not. So during that time, we can come back a little bit to the front row of our dunes and add a little bit more intensity in our front row of our dunes. So get some brighter orange, kind of on the same spot we were playing before, but just add a little bit, just to contact together that vivid brownish with the next layer of orange, and just create that highlighted shape of that front sand roll. And then we're gonna use a little bit more yellow to contact the next row with the dark orange one, so that they will be kind of contacted together in the same body of that dune in the front. And then we're gonna add a little bit. My container is almost over, so I need to add some more yellow. This is my other container with the yellow color. And I will contact that highlights with the brownish color with my lighter orange, just to create the next layer of the dune. It's kind of like seats in a theater when you have the front row, second row, and third, and it goes closer to the end of the theater. That's what we're trying to do. We kind of layer them up. And then for the last row, we're gonna add in our orange again a little bit white color, which is gonna make it lighter, and fix a little bit our last close to horizon row. Just like that. So, but if you see, I didn't contact that next to the other row. I didn't contact them together. I just leave a little bit of lighter previous layer, just like that, because I want to still have the highlights in layers of the colors, so that we can have variety of the different shades of it, just to make our painting look more professional and have more colors in them, because our mission today to create as much orange and blue shades as we can. So for now, I will come back to my sky and make my sky more smooth in colors, because now I see kind of difference between the top very dark blue and the bottom, which is kind of lighter, like maybe 50% lighter than the dark one. So I just need to create something in the middle which is gonna contact them together. So for that, I will add a little bit of white in my blue, which is I already have here, just kind of refreshing. And get another layer. It's a little bit more translucent than the first one. It just add more substantial color to it. Just get that medium interior of the sky with more intense shade of the blue, but not too much. Don't overdo that, because then your sky will become like ocean color, more intense, which is we're trying to avoid, because we need to still have a nice sky color, which is, even if it's blue color, but still it's kind of more airy and has that translucent, which is sky usually have. And I can just suggest you to get just an almost plain white for the horizon line, like we did the highlights in our ocean last time we did the sunset, because that white, very light blue will create that airy perspective, because we all trying to make from our 2D work kind of image of the 3D world, which is all artists do, trying to create the right perspective, which is, we're going to talk about perspective later, but for now I just want to let you know that we're trying to break through our 2D paper and make it looks like in nature by changing the shades of colors and creating that extra dimension. And I guess the last, what we're gonna do for the sky, to contact the top layer with the medium one. So then we get the darker blue. The darker blue, but not too dark, just for contact. Few strokes of that intense blue color on the top and cover the white spots. Kind of hunting for that white spots to finish our sky and get the last final strokes for the sky. And then our sky will be finished for now. And I will show you how our work will look when we're done. This is our bright sky, which just goes lighter by the horizon and creating that third dimension in our work, which is kind of invite us to jump into our picture and walk in the sand toward the horizon. And with our sand part of our picture, we were working on creating the layers of the sand dunes in the desert, and making going from the darker orange, which is almost brown, to the dark orange, and then we create the lighter orange shade and very light by the horizon. That's what our task for today, because what our mission was today is mix blue and orange, and blue is actually the main color, and orange we create by mixing together red and yellow, which is another two main colors, in one beautiful orange, and creating the different shades of it, and creating that contrast picture of the desert. The reason why that colors are so complement each other, because according by the color theory, they become complementary, and every time when you want to create the contrast in your artwork, you use the complementary colors, which is make your colors more intense and bright, because they really looks good next to each other. And this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed my lesson, and see you later.